It's the Hearthstone Global Games, and it is time for the decider match between Japan and Singapore. It's going to be a rematch. Japan and Singapore did already play against each other off stream. Singapore came out on top, taking Japan out and sending them down into the elimination bracket. But now we're going to have to see if history repeats itself or if Japan can make or can sort of end their comeback, I guess.
Well, it was 3-2 last time, and the lineups are incredibly similar to the point where I actually thought they were the same. Paladin, Druid, Combo Priest, and Token Shaman. But Singapore's Druid, as Falcone did point out to me, is the Malygos Druid. But overall, it's basically a mirror. So 3-2, no surprise.
It's very, very similar. Like those two decks, I mean, they both run the Druid quests, so even defining one as Quest Druid and the other as Malygos Druid is a little bit misleading. The differences come from, obviously, again, the Malygos win condition, Geppetto, Dream Petal Florist being the sort of key finishers in the Malygos Druid deck. But in Quest Druid, it's cards like King Phaoris and Cenarius, and you just go for sort of big board presence. And also, obviously, you can get up to some shenanigans with Elise and Zephyrus and stuff as well. But yeah, that is, as you said, that is the only difference. Otherwise, it's pretty much... I mean, I'm not going to claim that it's card for card because I've not inspected the decks quite as thoroughly as that. But it's certainly archetype the same.
And different bands,
though. Yeah, very, very different. With Singapore shielding their shield and having their priest band, and Japan shielding their priest and having their shaman band.
The caster's worst nightmare is when you write the teams down backwards to how they come on the screen.
Mine's actually the right way around this time, but yeah, that is
Mine's
the thing,
not.
That is a thing that happens very, very often for casters. When we prepare for a match, we've got our notes noted down, and then on screen, the team's the other way around. Yeah, it's a nightmare, especially when they've got lineups as similar as this.
It should be trivial as well, but for some reason it's impossible. And I think every caster agrees. Okay, let's not mess around any longer. It's Paladin versus the Druid, and I enjoyed this a lot as Paladin personally. I'm not sure if that's the common view though. It just tends to get the damage through.
Sure.
You just find a way. I know it's like a real cop-out answer, but for instance here, look at that Blessing the King.
Yeah,
you play a Sandboss, you play a load of stuff.
The way I described the Paladin versus Rogue matchup earlier was that the Paladin just sort of plays beefy but fair minions along the curve. And Rogue is very, Rogue's zero amount of vendettas and does quirky things like that. Against the Druid, though, Paladin playing beefy but fair minions up the curve, while the Druid spends the first 4 turns not really doing anything, actually does make a pretty big impact.
Yeah, it just hits them as hard as they can, and next turn it's going to be Blessing of Kings. And Druid doesn't cope with one big thing very well, even after it completes quest. It's pretty good at everything else. And obviously it can do 7 with Starfall at some point, but I wouldn't be at all surprised to just see Coin and wedge this into your face. Yeah.
I like it. Oh, nice. 6-8 Mekaru. Whoa! That wasn't the face.
It's a tough decision, that one, because it does so much damage to you if you leave it up. But because it means when they complete the quest, they've definitely got the answers they're looking for. But 6 to the face is a lot.
It is. Obviously, Lambi Series decided that he would rather prevent the Druid from drawing more cards, which is definitely reasonable. I mean, this turn...
Will they get the silence? They didn't use all their mana first. I think I'd be very tempted to...
No, there's no.
Of course, they've still got plenty of duplicates. I'm going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's just played it as the 3-2 to try and mitigate some more of that damage.
But Noble Sacrifice says,
Hey, I got you, friend.
And then Ziliax really says, after that. This one's going face.
Oh yeah, that one's going face. You're not afraid of a 3-2, a vanilla 3-2 on the board.
And they're not going to be able to kill it before Ziliax comes down next turn. I can see 8, unless I'm missing something.
What with it? Yeah, I mean, in theory, the Zephyrus itself should be able to trade in, but as we know, that secret is going to prevent that trade from happening. So if Glory can't pick up something to finish off that 6-5 with the Wrath, then yeah, like you said, Ziliax is going to... Ooh.
I mean, and he knows it too, because there's auto defense matrix as well. So it's not like it's a one secret wonder.
Yeah.
Glory knows what the situation is, to the point where he doesn't even bother trying to kill it.
No Moonfires in this deck either, obviously, because this is the Japan version of the Druid, which is not Malagos. So can't even try and fish for Moonfire with the Wrath and finish the job with that. It's not going to happen. That Mekaru is not dying this turn.
And something we haven't really mentioned yet is the curve after Ziliax. Because there's a mysterious challenger and a Rag still to come. Yeah, we're assuming it wasn't even going to get that far, to be fair. And it probably isn't. But even if it does, there's still outs for Singapore here. Yeah, just good luck, Druid.
So, I mean, Hidden Oasis is looking like the only play this turn. Does put Glory back up to 25 health again. But wow, like, Lambie's just spiking like crazy here. There's the challenger. Zephrys next turn, into Ragnaros the turn after. I don't know how Glory survives this.
And when you said to me sort of, well, why does Paladin beat Druid, in my estimation at least, I still can't tell you, having watched it. This is sort of how it goes. Some stuff, like you were saying, beefy stuff on curve, and that's kind of enough a lot of the time. It's not over yet, but with the rest of the hand being what it is, it's basically over.
What to do?
What is Glory trying to fish for with this Nourish? I mean, I guess Loti...
I think it's a situation... No,
it can't, because auto defense matrix is down.
Yeah, the situation is such that it's like, well, we might as well fish because the hand we've got's no good, just in case some combo we haven't spotted comes out.
To be fair, Ferocious Howl into the Anubisath Defender, that is something.
It is.
It's 8 armor and a Taunt. You're probably alive this turn.
So the Zephrys that does work is in the other hand. And also Finley
Yes.
fetching Hunter hero power in these situations is sometimes really good as well.
Is this
Although
ever just
time? It's super close.
Because like Zephrys into Wind Fury on the 9-5 is 18.
Yeah.
18. No, it's only 19 damage because of the taunt. The 6-8 goes into the taunt and then 19 damage goes face. That's not quite enough. Am I missing
There's always
more damage somewhere?
I mean, there's...
I wonder.
Savage Roar is
Let-
also 18 to the face. 19 to the face, I mean. Let's see what Zephrys finds. Yeah, Wind Fury.
There is the Wind Fury available.
Sea Giant
Eagle Horn
also
Bow
there.
because of the secrets being offered. And Sea Giant.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know if you take him, it's just great that it's being offered.
I mean, you probably go for the more powerful thing, right? But like,
Yeah.
if this game wasn't as over as it's looking like it is, you definitely consider the bow there.
Oh yeah, in a different game, like a grindy mirror or something, the bow would possibly have been really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a lot of damage. Setting up Ragnaros as an out at the very, very least, but probably just winning the game.
That Starfall isn't looking bad, you know.
Okay, what's their backup? You're right. They can clear.
Well, sort of. There's 3 secrets
Yeah.
there,
Sure.
which are, testing my memory here, I think Auto Defense Matrix, Avenge, and Redemption, or Hidden Wisdom. No, it must be Hidden Wisdom.
Yeah, they are
So,
playing Hidden Wisdom. That caught me out last game.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a fan of it, which means it's right not to play it if I'm not a fan.
I mean, I guess Oasis Surger, hit the 9/5, activate whatever secrets there are, then Starfall, the 6/5. Be a second Oasis Surger can go into the 9/5. I don't think that quite saves you, though, because the 1/3 and the 3/4 survive 100% of the time. And as we know, Ragnaros is in hand, ready to go. Not got long to make this decision, though.
Yeah, these animations take a while as well. Secrets and Starfall are not sure the most fun animations.
And that Avenge is going to shut Glory down. And through it. Oh no, the Redemption, the 1/1 then gets tipped by the swipe.
Well, the plan was to swipe. Oh, you got the swipe off half an hour after the rope finished. So
that's no good against that 6/3 that's still sitting there, ready to hit him right in the face. Game 1 goes to Lambisuri.
Singapore maintaining their strong HGG presence with a good chance now. 1-0 more relevant than normal in a straight mirror, with Shaman still not touched on one side and not even available on the other side.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, that is a very fast game, number 1, and that is Singapore's Paladin won with. So that leaves Singapore with their Shaman, which they shielded. So, you've got to expect they're feeling good about that one. And also the Druid, which...
Yeah, is this going to come down to a Druid mirror, do you think?
Ooh, that would be very cool. That'd be cool. Quest Druid versus Malik.
These Druids are going to have a tough time.
Yeah, one has the more explosive winning condition. The other, I guess, has the better mid-game and the better outlastiness. So I'll be excited if we do get to that stage. But now it's going to be Glory once again on the Quest Druid versus Lambi series on his Shaman.
Yeah, and the same thing goes for the Paladin, but this is a little bit more weird in that Shaman doesn't have the sort of smoothness that the Paladin has, but it certainly has the explosiveness. Wow. Well, that's a decent looking hand here for Glory.
It is, sort of. We had the issue last game where Glory had to play the Zeph just for its body. Ideally, he'd want to draw that later on, but coining out that quest so that it procs. Next turn, got the Expedition, which he can play for 1 mana while still proccing the quest, so it's getting there.
Yeah, and I mean, the Zeph just for the body is better this time around than before. I mean, it is one of your very few things you can throw down in the early game at all. And I think if it goes to later, you've probably won anyway, but I'm not sure how this gets to later already. I guess there's nothing to do here this turn.
Talking about good hands, like, what is this? We've got Thunderhead, Mogu, Voltaic Burst, and then, if that all falls apart, there's a Stormbringer to turn everything into a random legendary.
Yeah, he hasn't even drawn the good cards. This is how good Shaman is. This is the second team in action.
Well,
with a second team like this, you don't need the first.
Glory playing at lightning speeds here, but I was wondering if he'd consider playing the Loti and then innovating out to get that quest proc, but no. Going to save that innovate maybe for a hidden Oasis on turn 5.
Yeah, he gets that nourish in early if he wants it as well. Okay, do your thing. The thing with Lotus, it quite often dies anyway, even when you play it with its buff, maximum stats, etc. So it dying is not that massive here. Because if the game's later, you're killing something bigger with it, is the point.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, don't mind this at all.
So basically, this is all, I think, anyway, that this long decision process is all about Starfall. That's what my usual considerations are. You can't really play much here and not get Starfalled. So we might see something weird like just Frog, and then like a Totem and just keep the Mogu back.
Just
Because
frog
your
now,
Stormbringer-
hope that the Starfall doesn't happen, and then played Stormbringer next turn.
Yeah, point being that the frog doesn't die to the
Yeah.
Starfall anyway. Whereas Mogu plus something else would actually die.
Okay, well that's not playing around Starfall.
That's Finding Evolve, which is playing around it in some ways. Trying to protect the board.
But Lampy, he can't play the Mogu with it, which is kind of annoying. Just because his board was too full.
Looking for 2 3s to protect from Stormbringer. But yeah, you're right.
Well then.
It doesn't matter anyway because there is no Starfall, but the point being here that this was largely protected from Starfall. And if you play Stormbringer, you probably win.
Hey, Swipe is pretty good here though. Swipe the Captain Greenskin, there's a 5-1 that dies, there's a 2-1 that dies.
Sure.
Loti can finish off one of the other minions.
That leaves 3. Not too bad from the Druid's perspective. Oh, it hurts, doesn't it, to use your 1/2 poison on a 3/1.
That happens all the time in Battlegrounds.
Oh, yes.
Alright. Oh, it's
Yeah.
it's going to be Soul of the Murloc, of course. This sets up a guaranteed Stormbringer next turn. Or even better, if a Bloodlust's drawn, it's just lethal.
Yep, and Glory just having nothing anyway. That's why it's interesting to watch it from Singapore's side, because we know that they can't deal with it on this side. Huge chunk of taunt setup. But you're at liberty to trade all your minions in, which works out exactly, and just Stormbringer anyway. From Murlocs to heroes.
Well, here we go.
That'll do it.
Yeah, that's a good enough board. Yeah. Starfall, too little too late, I'm afraid.
Yeah, good luck with that Starfall.
You can
One
deal with
minion,
Antonites. Yeah.
Right.
And
If you're
obviously,
viable.
one other thing that could have gone very right for Glory is that Zephyrus. If it was active, this would be an easy Zephyrus into Brawl and to clear almost all of the board. But it's still not active, so count that one out.
I just thought for fun I would try and work out how much health they've got to get to not die. And I got to a lot and then just ran out of fingers and toes. It's a silly amount. So as we've seen every time when they've been in this spot, play Nourish and hope your deck is wrong.
No, that deck is... The deck list
Oh
is
no,
correct.
okay. So the point was Nourish into Zephyrus bottom because it doesn't exist.
I don't think there's a 1-mana card that freezes that whole board. Yeah.
Awkward.
Well, there you go.
2-0.
Singapore take their second win of the series. I believe every single series that we've had today has started with a 2-0. The previous series, the one that you guys just cast, the winners series. No, sorry, the elimination series. That was unfortunately for Australia. That was a 3-0. But we'll see if this ends up going the same way. We could see a reverse sweep. Hasn't quite happened yet today, but some of the teams have come close.
Yeah, and it's just rattling by suddenly. The first match of the day took a long time, and the next two have been a lot quicker. But going to have to get wins with that Druid if they're going to win it, though. And that is potentially the sticking point. I can see how it could go wrong.
Well, I believe as we have reached the end of Game 2, we are going to take a little break before we continue with this series. But one more time, Singapore are 2-0 against Japan. The winner of this series does qualify out of the groups. The loser is eliminated. So it's a big one. Don't go anywhere. HGG coming up. It's the Group A decider match now between Japan and Singapore. Winning in and lose and out already in the first day of the Hearthstone Global Games. That would not be a good feeling to be eliminated from the tournament already, would it, Lorinda?
No, not at all. There's a whole month of action ahead, and if you're out on the first day, you haven't got a month of action ahead anymore, and you're just cheering for whoever you want to cheer for, and nobody wants to cheer for anyone but themselves. And as you can see there, we've had a slight issue that we couldn't bring you the Druid Mirror game. So Japan have won game number 3, and we'll be going into game number 4 when we resume the action. The video was cool.
So, yeah, unfortunately, the Druid that we were watching for the last 2 games, we saw it lose twice. Well, Japan did get the win with it, but we're not going to get to see that. But moving forward, it's going to be Druid versus Priest now. We're now going to see Singapore with the Malagos Druid, which did lose to Japan's Druid. But that's okay. Let's see what it can do now.
Yeah, it's a big deal as well. We're saying that it could come down to the Druid Mirror. So even though it was 2-0, now 2-1, it could be the whole turning point of this match where all Priest has got to do is slap you for 16 a couple of times, and then you win with your other deck and you're through. Shaman was banned, though? Anyway.
Singapore's Shaman was shielded. Japan's was banned.
There we go. So they do have to get through an unconventional way, but Druid really can be picked on here. We've already seen what Paladin can do against Druid. And I know it's a different Druid, but it's functionally the same at the start of the game.
It is. It's do nothing for a few turns and then have some powerful turns, and then with this Druid in particular, it's win with that explosive Malagosi finish. The question in this matchup is whether or not doing nothing for a few turns is good enough against Priest, which can develop a pretty ginormous board and hit you in the face with it faster than you'd like to think.
Yeah, when people need healing, you get a lot of cards very quickly. So, quite rightly now, just no minions to run into. This is one way to play around Starfire. Starfall.
Yeah, just make everything have 7 health. Seems
yeah,
good.
then they can kill one of them. Who cares? Psychic Pump's not very good, is it? 3-1 for 4 mana. That's all it does.
It's a 3-7 for 4 mana, actually.
Just makes it a lot better, to be fair.
I'd play that.
Like, you up against somebody who deliberately isn't using their mana. It's like, use it. Hurt my things. My things need to be hurt so I can heal them.
It's a tricky turn for Equinox here, but looks like he's opting to do nothing. 3 out of 4 on the quest. Almost done.
There's a thing you can heal.
There's a thing you can heal. Good job. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems better.
Yeah. Who wants those pesky 3/7s?
Well, that's not going to die to start falling anytime soon.
Job done.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say none of these things are going to die. Or not many of these things are going to die. At all.
I mean, certainly not now, with the quest still not even complete yet. Psychonauts going to coin out the Nourish. I got a ramp with it. There's a second Nourish that he can use for card draw. Just right now, getting that quest finished and making sure that he's got enough mana to do whatever it is that he wants to do next turn.
Yeah, play 2 Malagos as a swipe the whole board he'd like to do next turn. Might not be a thing that actually is possible. But, you can hope. Oh, stop making it so ridiculous! Perfectly correct play, of course. It's just scary. Look at this board. This is what I usually run into on about round 5 on Battlegrounds.
Lorinda, I have a feeling that Possessi's going to win this one.
Yeah, me too. Unless he runs into a poison amalgam, I think it's all over. I can't even see a plan. I mean, I guess he's not dead anytime soon, as in the next 2 turns, so... How can he go about doing anything? I think without a florist, there's no cheating available, right? With a florist, maybe we can make some convoluted nonsense up that would work.
It's nonsense that would work eventually. It's not nonsense that would work now and actually save him, though.
Yeah.
Well, I say save him. There's still no topsy-turvy. There's still no inner fire, but it's only a matter of time before one is drawn.
Yeah. And he's taking like 9 a turn anyway, just from the things on the board.
Right.
And you can't sort of swipe and injure things, because then they're going to draw more cards and definitely find the inner fire. Okay, so that works as a way to not die immediately. Oh, and that works as a way to kill them immediately, and it's 2-all.
Yeah, he's dead immediately. There you go. Japan does even out one more time. Could this be the first reverse sweep of the day? Singapore go ahead and finish the job. Again, we've seen a few of these series that have gone down right until the very end, but then the team that got the first couple wins were able to see it through. I don't know which way this one's going to go, Lorinda.
Well, I saw game 1, Paladin beat Druid. It's basically the same at the start of the game. It's not going to get to turn 9 or 10, or the Druid's probably stable. However, the Druid chooses to win. So I've always liked Paladin against Druid personally. We've seen it already win once quite easily. Again, it makes beefy guys and hits you. If Japan can do that, they'll get the reverse sweep they're looking for.
That is true. Well, here we go. Game number 5 of this vital series for both of these teams. Win and in, lose and out.
Crystal Merchant is a thing you want. Secret Keeper Zephyrus is definitely a thing you want. And that's a full keep, I believe. Yep. Because the Secret Keeper is Bellringer. Bellringer's like your 30th card in this deck as far as I'm concerned, but still fine, because your Secret Keeper probably won't be dealt with. It's Finley.
Finley on curve. Can't complain about that one.
Yeah, assuming they don't want an Animal Companion, which they might. Oh, now you go Finley, because you're coining into Blessing of Kings next turn.
Oh, in that case, though, Possessi has a slightly different plan. I guess he's thinking, if I'm not planning on hero powering next turn anyway, let's just make the board as big as possible. We'll go coin Blessing of Kings into Bowering a Century, then we can go Finley hero power. That seems like a good curve to me.
Yeah, and you know more about which Finley hero power you want. You probably want Hunter, but you might want to draw cards if something bad's happened along the way. So the question here is, do you kill off the 1/4? It does a lot of damage to you. We saw in the reverse, actually, Singapore did just choose to kill that, even with a 6/7 or whatever that thing was at the time. And we might see the reverse play here. Just Blessing of Kings, either or. Probably not on the Secret Keeper, so that's going to get bigger anyway. No, you make one big thing. Stick it on the Secret Keeper and hit it. And they disagree with how game 1 was played.
Yeah.
It's almost exactly the same situation.
It is. It is indeed. Possessi just wants to deal that damage, and you can't really blame him. It's significant.
I wanted to go face the first one, yeah.
You can argue that, preventing that card from drawing a card next turn is irrelevant because you're going to win the game by then. As it happens on this occasion, it does allow the trade to happen here, thanks to that pickup of the 1-mana spell.
It's a genuinely tough decision, because if you're going to do it this way, it had better work. Whereas if you do make the trade, it's a little bit less likely to work, but you've got backup plans. Letting this live is giving the opponent...
is a very... is an option that you should seriously consider. 14 damage right now, putting Lambie series down to 8.
Yeah, especially with Finley in hand. Okay.
Okay, sure.
You can do it next turn, I guess.
I'm not sure. Well, next turn it sort of runs into Hidden Oasis the turn after, but I can't think what Lambie series could have stopped that with this turn. Double Wrath, I guess. Wow, and even then, we'd never surrender down. That thing's just not dying, is it?
No. He didn't know that at the time, though. There's a lot of secrets that mean your thing's never dying. Well done, you completed a quest. Have a quest medal. Both time play Spot the Lethal, which involves trusting a genius genie. I'm going to be a coward at this point. I'm just going to play Zephyrus and hope it finds me the win. I can't
And
think
hope
of one.
it finds you the. So Savage Roar is the most damaging card, right? And I don't think that's even close at the moment. It'd be 11. No, Savage Roar's 11 to the face. Bearing a Sentry makes the trade, obviously, and then 9 + 2 goes face.
Yeah. Hunter takes it, surely.
Yep, it's there. You got it. I don't think Soul Tap's ever better. How worried are you about Hidden Oasis if you're Possessy?
I was just going to say Fire Blast could possibly be better because you clear the board this turn. And it's almost as much damage to the face. So yeah, over the course of how much 50 health is, this is better.
This is more damage, isn't it? Actually, the way it's worked out.
Unless the game goes 100 turns or something, yeah. This is an extra 7 to the face. So yeah, it'd take you 7 turns to not recoup that. Fair enough.
Good spot. So Hidden Oasis really is Lambie series' only viable option. It puts him back up to 20. Great. Gives him a 6/6 taunt. Fantastic. But surely Zephyrus is lethal now. It might not be.
Still 1 turn away from Bloodlust.
And Wind Fury just isn't.
And I think Bloodlust would only be 19. Oh no, Bloodlust would do it for sure. No, Bloodlust would have been 19 as it happens.
Yeah, I'm counting.
I want Consecration Ping here.
I'm counting 16 as the most damage with Zephyrus, and that's with Wind Fury.
That makes sense.
So you're pinging the 6/6 and trading.
Yeah.
Friendly?
Yeah, I want to get this Consecration used for the 2 damage to face as much as anything. So might as well do it now. Because you're not using it next turn, and the turn 10 could be too late.
I mean, you deal 13 damage doing that.
Right, and then you've got Zephyrus at any point that can just win the game very easily.
Yeah, Zephyrus into almost anything now, yeah.
It feels like you don't develop, but what you do develop is the 2 damage from the Consecration.
Uh-huh. Yeah, looks like he's going to do it. Oh, or not.
No, he's developing things.
Sure. Putting stuff on the board is fine.
This plays into a better Zephyrus win.
Yep. Starfall isn't good enough to clear this. The 7/10 just doesn't die. Double swipe also isn't good enough.
Innovate can.
That's
might as well. Before you even think about what you're doing, you might as well do this.
Kun does, funnily enough, cancel out the Innovate. You only get 9 mana crystals back. I mean, you don't get all 10.
That's interesting.
Despite the fact the Innovate gave you that 10th mana crystal. It's a weird interaction.
I think I want to swipe 3/4 here.
If Lambie series for some reason needed all 10 mana, that would have been a reason not to start with Kun. But Kun is clearly the best play.
See what the secret does, and then swipe again depending what the Avengers.
Alright,
so now swipe.
That's the better result, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's close suddenly. And
really
it's not
is.
close again.
So Soundbreaker is just Tiamat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can't be played this turn though. It feels like Possessy has to play Zephyrus now.
What do you
Is
take?
there a 5-mana
Elemental, maybe?
minion you could take?
Yes, 7/8
Well,
Earth Elemental.
Earth Elemental. Yeah, Earth Elemental's a very serious consideration here. Wow. Big Game Hunter, also a serious consideration here.
Yes.
Possibly, I think that's actually better.
Your wish is my
'Cause then the 7/8 goes face, and you're not overloaded next turn.
Oh.
I didn't even. It's not even offering the Earth Elemental.
Zephyrus has decided.
I've got the beast in my sight.
Zephyrus liked my play more, Lorinda. That's why we.
So, yeah. I think he was right. Wow.
I guess. Is there anything that Geppetto can come up with? Well, let's find out. Yeah, Flute becomes a 4-cost minion again, doesn't it? After this gets played.
Flute mechanic is so weird.
That costs 4 again. Not gonna happen. I hope Lambie Series knew that, or he must be feeling very disappointed right now. It's looking like a comeback again, though, isn't it?
I will show you. Yeah.
I think this redemption might actually just be
It
enough.
only comes back as a 1/1, though.
Sure.
Oh, but I forgot about the buff.
That's a pretty good pickup.
Yep. Lease can't quite fit the double Ferocious Howl if you play Lease.
It does feel like the Druid's almost there. That works.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's very nice too. Wow. Has Lambie Series actually stabilized after all of that?
Does look like it. There's still a Ragnaros in the deck, could change things further. I mean, he has to kill Japan quickly, but will do.
Put your faith in the light.
Wait. I just want to work out if Siamat was just better. Winfield Divine take out 2 5/4s.
Just
take things
well,
out
you'd
and
kill
then
a 5/4 and the 6. You'd kill a 5/4
Sure,
and
yeah.
the 6/6, wouldn't you?
And
So
you get to-
that
you get
does
to
just leave a
work in a
5/4.
ping.
That's good.
You get to work in a ping that way, and then next turn you get to Tyrion and work in another ping.
There's a lot to think about, isn't there? Because even Divine Shield Rush to kill the 6/6 and leave it alive as a 6/6 was worth thinking about, I think.
Which is weird, because that's one of the quicker plays that Japan have made in the whole tournament. And it was kind of complicated. I realise you want the weapon as quickly as possible before you die and get stabilised against. Anyway, this is where they are.
Need a hand, explorer?
Wow,
And so
going
it
for the
begins.
double. Oh, sorry, Elise wasn't even active. It's my turn to do it that time.
Oh,
Well,
that's
this
a
is a
huge
very
pickup, though.
clear. Yeah, this is a very clear CMAT.
Yeah, the noble
With
sacrifice
Fury
to stop you
Rush.
from having accidents.
Mm-hmm. Possessy loses to Malagos on the spot here, though, if I'm not mistaken.
So 2 swings with a weapon is 10, 2 pings is 14, and consecration is 2 for 16. I would be looking to take my chance for 1 turn, because you've got 2 turn lethal if everything else goes face. The noble sacrifice means you shouldn't die.
Yeah, Noble,
Too
you're right.
many
Noble
things.
Sacrifice makes a big difference here. Because I was looking at putting the weapon into the 5/4, but this is so much better because now he doesn't die to Malagos.
Wow.
That doesn't stop it. That doesn't stop the lethal.
Get down!
Looks like Possessi's got this game.
Yeah, last turn was very well calculated, and that, going back to the Tyrion thing that I didn't like, looks like they'd worked all that out in advance.
Yeah,
And
I guess
the
there was
exact
just such a
damage
huge
went over.
advantage to getting access to that Ashbringer nice and early. There you go, Possessi, Team Japan, after losing to Singapore in the initial match in this group, they fought their way into the decider. They beat Singapore in the rematch, and they have qualified alongside the Philippines. What an exciting story that we've had for Group A.
Yeah, that was a fantastic last match. We did say it might come down to the Druid Mirror, and that is what it did do. So that's fantastic English. As you can see there, Philippines and Japan moving forward to the next round of groups, which will be in a couple of weeks' time. We've got 4 groups this week, 4 groups next week, and then we start the top 16, where we do it all again. The team that comes out on top at the end of all this, in just before Christmas, they're going to have earned it. There's a lot of wins to be done.
Absolutely, yeah, but that is Group A done and dusted for now. But we are not finished with today's broadcast just yet. We are going to make a little start on Group E. Group E, which is, I believe, the United Kingdom, France, Spain, and Sweden. So that
lots of GM stories in this group. Lots of every single player pretty much has got some story about the GM or the other. Going to be interesting to see what happens in it. And we're not biased.
Absolutely.
UK, who are they?
I mean, Dead Draw and Ball Control are pretty good, Lorinda.
Oh, that's who they are. I remember now. Yeah, they are. Good.
Yeah, that
Go
is who
UK.
they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. Group A over and done with. Group E coming up. I believe we're going to do a little caster switcheroo, and we'll be back in just a few moments with the UK versus Spain.